Your defense is in trouble when Nketiah's in the room. Da na 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 da na da da da. Your defense is in trouble when Nketiah's in the room. Da 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 da. Let's go. What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another shameless Monday live stream. And damn, it is a good Monday, people, after another 3-point collecting over the weekend as we clipped up Man United at the Emirates. And today is another shamelessly epic day, as you can see by Jesus God, what's going on here, people? Eddie's in the room, people. He's made it. Who would have thought? Last Monday, I had Mikel Arteta on the green screen for the first time ever. We came a long way from Arteta out shows to putting him on the green screen. Today, this man makes it to the green screen. You know, I had to do it. I had to do it. He deserved it, man. The man's answered the questions and he deserves it, man. You know me, shameless settings, I'll own it, man. So big up to man like Eddie. He's doing his thing, man. He's doing his thing. So, yeah, man. Big up to everyone in the chat. Hope you're well. Hope you are well. Shameless intro, as always. You know how the thing goes. Vibes on this Monday. Happy Monday to everyone. Beverly Hills settings. Yeah, man. Axel Foley. I've always rated him. Get that on a shirt. Trust me. The merch is coming, people. Don't worry. I'll get there. Craigo, all of the above. Can we do it, people? Big up Big C and the community. The apology form needs to be ticked off, people. I think mine was the number 14 shirt. That was wild, but I've got my head around it now. We keep it moving. DJ Dre, big up yourself. The unit, we're in here, people. C Unit business on this Monday. Top of the Premier League, sky high, people. United clipped, Tottenham clipped, Liverpool clipped. We're clipping everyone this year. Big up Southern Goon. I hope you're well, my bro. Morning, Big C. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. United fell for the banana in the tailpipe. Listen, I'm a big Eddie Murphy fan. I can't lie. Beverly Hills Cop, man. There's a banana in your tailpipe. Pause, by the way. But yeah, if you've watched the film, then you understand what's going off. Big up yourself. Xhaka green screen next. That will be the unlikely Trinity complete. Arteta and Nketiah and Xhaka. How times have changed. See you, Nick. Big up yourself, people. I mean, listen, Granite can get there if he keeps going. Listen, let's talk about the background. The background was needed. And you know me, information and entertainment. I like to brighten up people's moods a little bit. I've always rated him in the top corner. I thought was so necessary. That's got to go on the merch, by the way, if we ever drop that, which we will soon. But yeah, man, what a great performance by Arsenal yesterday. What a game. I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone. We got unbelievable numbers on that watch along yesterday. 121,000 views, I think we're at the moment. 4,000 likes. Big up to the community. I appreciate everyone. Make sure you subscribe, like the video and all that good stuff, people. Share it around and all that. So let's get into today's show. Big up Big C. Cheers, mate. Let's enjoy the Man United tears. Yes, bro, we got the best deal. Trossard is a baller. He had a very nice 8-minute cameo. Big up Big C. Early sessions like this are very good in the carpet. Keep them coming like this. You're shameless for that background. You know me, I don't even hide from it, people. I am on at 2 o'clock today because I'm on AFTV live today at 5 with Laurie for Talk is Cheap. So make sure you tune in for that. So obviously I had to move this show from 4 till 2. I will sort of mix the 2 o'clock and the 4 o'clock shows because some people say they prefer 2, some people prefer 4. Anyway, let's get into it. No more messing about. Let's talk about yesterday's game because Man United got dealt with. And listen, I'm going to say it as it is. I am going to say it as it is because, I've been bantering Man United fans left, right and centre as you're supposed to. But I do have to give them a little bit of credit for yesterday. I won't give them much because they are our rivals. It felt like the rivalry was back yesterday. And I've said this many times before. A lot of fans of other clubs won't agree because they've had more success than Arsenal and United in recent times. But that, for me, is the best rivalry in the Premier League. I don't care what anyone says. It's better than the Tottenham one. It's the best. It's the best one. It's the best one in my opinion, and it was the most exciting game. Big rivalry, and really feels like both teams are climbing back up the ladder. And I would also say that, just to give Man United a little bit of credit, I think that's the best team that have come to the Emirates this season. And I do have to give them some credit for that, because they made life difficult for us. And I can't lie, when Rashford slapped that shot in the corner, I thought it was going to be a long day at the office. I thought it was going to be a long day at the office. But the rivalry is unbelievable, and I love that game yesterday, and I love the way we ground out the win. And Anthony said, Eddie ruined my marriage. Wifey is a United fan. Listen, she's got to hold that smoke every now and then and understand what time it is. You know what I mean? Craigo said, all of the above. Can we do it, people? Big up Big C in the community. Big up yourself, bro. Much appreciated for the support. As always, Zinni was in tears as well at the end of the game. Let's look back on the game yesterday. And I watched most of the game back this morning because, I got so caught up in the game yesterday. I feel like at times I wasn't even watching it, with concentrating on the watch along and all that. 3-2 win. Eddie, 24th minute goal, 53rd minute from Saka, 90th minute from Eddie, 17th from Rashford, and Lisandro in the 59th minute with the header. If we have a quick look at the stats, Arsenal, statistically, we absolutely dominated the game. Didn't necessarily look like that through watching the game. 25 shots for Arsenal. 5 on target, 6 for Man United, 4 on target, 58% possession, 42% possession for Manchester United. But in the first half, it was very different. It was interesting because we didn't play midweek, but we looked like the team that had played midweek. But I think what people have to understand sometimes as a player, it's easier to keep playing. I always preferred playing a game over training. A game was the excitement. It kept me sharp. It was my favourite part of being a footballer, not training. So sometimes playing midweek might actually help you as a player. Rather than not playing, and training. So United looked a little bit more match ready when they started the game. I think what also surprised Arsenal a little bit was United actually played on the front foot in the first half. I've got to be honest. I haven't seen really anyone really come to the Emirates this season and play on the front foot. Liverpool for a little bit, but not much. United came to beat us. I've got to be honest, and I do give them some credit for that, considering Ten Hag, he's only 6 months into that project. But in the end, I think we had too much for them. We moved the ball so well. We're relentless at the moment. I think we press the way that Liverpool pressed 2 or 3 years ago. I'm not saying our front three is as good as the Liverpool front three, but I think the energy of that front three must be so difficult to play against. They don't let you breathe at all in the game, and I think that's a credit to them. Let's go through the player ratings, people. I've got some player ratings written down, but we'll go off the community and kind of see what you guys think, and we'll see where you're at with it. We'll start with Aaron Ramsdale. At the start, I was questioning him on the Rashford goal. Did he move his feet quick enough? I'm going to give Rashford the credit for the goal. He hits it like a rocket. He knuckleballs it. It's bottom corner. I think the defender should have blocked it a little bit quicker. The second goal for me is his fault. Some people don't agree. I think he has to come and get that and catch it or punch it. But he made a fantastic save from Rashford at a vital point in the game, where if that goes in, we are in trouble. Big deflection. I've got 6.5 written down. I'm going to be honest, because I think that second goal is his fault. I'm going to be honest. I think he has to claim that. He even put on Instagram and Twitter that the players dug him out of a hole. So I think he's acknowledging that second goal is his fault. I'm going to give him a 6.5. He deserves good credit for that save from Rashford, but I think that second goal is his fault. And goals can cost you games. If Eddie doesn't score that winner at the end, we've drawn this game today and we're disappointed. So I'm going to give him a 6.5, people. He did make a couple of saves, to be fair. He did. I felt he should have made the saves. The one from Rashford was a very good save. But I am marking him down a little bit just for the fact that I think he should have punched it or caught it. 100%. I'm giving him a 6.57. The save from Rashford was incredible. 6 is fair. He should be punching that over the Thames. Anthony said, I don't fully blame Rambo for the second goal. Tommy got in his way. Maybe he shouted and Tommy didn't hear. If he didn't shout, then it's on him. Listen, goalkeepers are told, take everything out the way. If Tommy Asu's got to take a little jab on the side of his head and while that ball goes, then everything's got to be cleared out. But I give him a 6.5. I think it's pretty fair. Most of you saying 6, some of you saying 7. We're caught just in between with the 6. Let's talk about Ben White. Not a good day at the office for him. Got booked. Was a little bit overly aggressive. It felt like he was trying to impose himself on Rashford, which happens sometimes. By the way, I will be at the Arsenal ground later on today. So, I might pop into the Armoury and just have a look if there's anything new in there. It felt like Ben White was trying to prove a point against Rashford. Oh, I play for England with him. I know he's on fire. I want to be really aggressive and show everyone how good I am. I don't think that's always the way to play when you're playing against a very good player who's on top of his game at the moment. And I'm going to be honest, I think Ben White would have got sent off at some stage. I think it's his worst game of the season. I don't want anybody to think I've got an agenda against him because I haven't. I think he's been brilliant this season. I'm going to mark him down to a 5.5. 6 for me is an average performance. I think he's got to get notched down. I'm being kind, giving him a 5.5. Some people have been giving him 5s in their player ratings. I'm going to be kind because we won and give him a 5.5, but it was not his best performance. And we're going to talk about the manager, obviously, in the player ratings as well. But I think he tried to prove a point too much. That would be my advice to him. When you're playing against a player in form, you don't always have to try and bully them. Sometimes you've got to be calm and just pick your moments and take the ball off him. I felt he wanted to beat Rashford up yesterday and clatter him all the time. And I don't think that's always the right way. Rashford got the better of him, but he came off at half-time. Not the end of the world. He still starts the next game for me. He's had a great season. We move on. 5.5, we keep it moving. Some of you saying 5, 5.5. Harrison says a 4. Benny was all over the place, 5, and they took him off. Listen, it's not the end of the world. He's entitled to a bad performance. Alexander Zinchenko at left back. I thought yesterday he was outstanding. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. I think that's his best performance in an Arsenal shirt. You're playing against a live wire in Anthony, who I think is massively overrated, by the way. But let Man United deal with that. I think Anthony is hugely overrated. People talk about Pepe and players. I think Pepe was better than Anthony. But, hey, it is what it is. Zinchenko, for me, I'm giving him 10 out of 10. I'm giving him 10 out of 10. And I don't do this often. He gets a 10 out of 10 for me yesterday. And the performance isn't perfect. He doesn't get a 10 because the performance was perfect. He gets a 10 because, for me, he's the leader of that back four. I didn't even know that this guy was such a leader when we signed him. He looked quiet at Manchester City. He looked quiet in the documentary. This guy has become something special at this football club. The passion in his celebrations, the quality on the ball, the drive and leadership of that back four, the interview after the game, the mentality. I know we used to talk about Liverpool, mentality monsters. This guy is a winner in every sense of the word. He said in his interview after the game, when I joined and I spoke to the team, I told them, aim for the title. And he said players were laughing at him because they didn't see it. That, how can we win the league? We've just finished 5th. This guy said, listen, aim for the top. Aim for the moon. If you miss, you're amongst the stars. He is one of the best signings we have made in years, people. He is incredible. Steps into that midfield. What a signing at £35 million. 10 out of 10. He is priceless. Kieran Tierney was one of the best left-backs in the Premier League, and we don't miss him. And that's no disrespect to Kieran Tierney because he's still quality. This guy is special. false left back, as they're calling him. Not even a genuine left back. He's brilliant. He's a game changer. He gets 10 out of 10 for me. Dial Square said, if we signed a player who scored like Eddie, you'd be knighting him. How are you going to find ways to push your agenda against him with no evidence? Dial Square, my bro. Calmer. Have you not seen what's going on behind me here? Can you not see what's in the background behind me? You need to relax. I'm tempted to give you your money back on that £5. Calm down. It's only Monday, Dial Square. Relax. We're top of the league. Right, let me get back to it because you throw me off topic there. Right, no agendas. We're here, people. Dial Square. Just calmer. Monday morning, Monday afternoon. Right, where are we? Zinchenko, 10 out of 10 anyway. Let me get back to it. Let's go William Saliba at centre-back. William Saliba at centre-back. I'm going to give Saliba a 7. I thought Saliba was good yesterday. I thought first half we was a bit sloppy. I think we're lucky that Man United sold a goat to Al Nassr and they replaced him with a horse in Weghorst, which is always interesting. It's a good job Man United got rid of a goat and they signed a horse. And I think we got away with it. If they still had a goat up front or a top quality striker, maybe it would have been a lot different. Should be an 8. Do you know what? Do we give the 2 centre-backs 8s? They were good. I've put 7 and 7 point. All right, we're going to give them... None of the goals were really their fault, was they? Let's be honest. All right, I'm going to give them both 8s. I'm in a good mood. We've just beat them. And their striker didn't do anything, to be honest. So, all right, cool. We give both the centre-backs an 8. They were both solid. And you know what? Gabriel won a lot of headers above Weghorst as well, who is 6'6". He's a giant. 17. All right, cool. We're gonna itch them both up to an 8. Jashar said, big up Curtis. I messaged Paul Hall about you yesterday. He said he had a lot of time for you. I was thinking, nah, bun him after my timeout. Where did that timeout come from? I never gave you the timeout, did I? It was when you was making wild comments. Yeah, I remember. Big up Jay, though. Hope you're well, bro. We still need to come and get some of them Crystal Palace players, though. Maybe Elise in the summer. Yeah, we'll give both centre-backs 8. They won so many headers. Apparently, Saliba, 17 ball recoveries. And Gabby, the way Gabby owned Bruno when he stood over him as well. I mean, yeah, I got to hit you up to an 8 for that because, boy, that's the kind of shameless behaviour that... You know I'm about that life, people. I love that. Big up Alfred with the super chat. What people don't understand why he was so emotional. Zinni already came in hating United. Add to that the fact they are the only team to beat us already. The interesting thing, though... Didn't Zinchenko say he supported Arsenal as a boy? There was pictures of him as a kid wearing Arsenal shirts. So imagine us as fans playing for the club that we supported as a kid. Those victories are going to mean more to you than a lot of those players because it's something else, you know. It's that little bit more special. Big up man like Saeed in the chat. I'm surprised you're out, my bro. It ain't easy, my brother. I appreciate you turning up, but boy, you're going to be like, you know, you're going to be the chicken on the barbecue tonight. You know that, innit? Big Six. Them, man, you might as well put the seasoning on yourself right now. Put the jerk sauce on yourself now. You're getting seasoned and cooked tonight, to be fair. But I appreciate you turning up, bro. Listen, as I said, I think Man United fans, and I know it sounds a little bit patronising when you've lost, I think Man United fans should be quite happy about what's going off. It's taken Arsenal 3.5 years to get into this position. Man United, for a team 6 months into their project, I think they're moving in the right direction. They're probably another midfielder short. Put another midfielder next to Casemiro. They need a top quality striker. And I don't think they're a million miles away. I've got to be totally honest. So, yeah, I know they lost. And, you know, we're going to say hold that and all that, what Turkish was saying. But I do think United are moving in the right direction. I do. Samuel said, any plans to attend some games this season? I would wish to see some of your matchday live reactions from the stadium. 100%. 100%. I got to be honest, the only reason I'm not going to games at the moment because it's freezing. And I hate going to watch football in the cold. But yeah, man, I am going to go and watch some games. Maybe some of the Europa League away games as well. Let's go into the midfield. Let's start with Martin Odegaard, captain yesterday. He played a little flip-flap pass, didn't he, that was... incredible. If Xhaka was a little bit quicker, he might have actually got it. But what a pass. I don't think he was at his best. I thought he played better last week against Tottenham, I've got to be honest, where I thought he was incredible. But still, he had good moments. I don't think he was in the game as much as the Tottenham game. He got on the ball a lot more. But every time he gets the ball, I feel like something's going to happen. He did set up Eddie Nketiah's goal. Was it a shot? Who knows? I've got 7.5 down. Odegaard 7.5. 7.5 again. 7.5. He was decent. 7. 7.5. 6. 8 says Vince. Greg said 7.5. Anwar gives him an 8. 7.5 from South London's finest. Odegaard was a 9. His energy was amazing. Big C, stand up if your club is top of the league. It's only right. Oz gives him a 7.5. Trini says 7. Jeremy says 8. So I'm giving him a 7.5. I thought he was good, but not at his best. But still a very good performance from Martin Odegaard. Let's go to Thomas Partey. This one's a bit of a... This is a tricky one, Martin Odegaard. First half, he couldn't pass wind. I'm telling you. His passing was dog. He gave the ball to Bruno Fernandes, and then he gets nutmegged by Rashford, and Rashford scores. First goal is his fault. Second half, I thought he was better, but still not quite at his best. I would say first half a 5. Second half, maybe a 7, 7.5. I'm going to give him a 6.5, maybe a 7. He's the general. So, do you see the recovery run as well, where he had about 5 yards to make up on Anthony and he just took the ball off him? He wasn't at his best. I'm going to give him a 6.5, man. I've set his standards so high that I don't think it was a great performance. Sultan says was up and down. 7 for me. Gunnar Paul says 6. Brio says 5.5. Badig says 6. 6 says Anwar. Michael says 6. Elliot 6. Partey. First average match in a long time. Agreed. 6 says South London. 6.5 says Anthony. Latte gives him a 7. Jay said 7. Anyone else there, we lose that game. 6, more of a Corporal's performance. Yeah, we go along with that. Granit Xhaka. It's funny, because during the game, I wasn't really paying much attention to Granit. I watched the game back and I thought, you know what? Granit's had a good game here. He was better than Thomas Partey. And he set up the first goal of Eddie Nketiah with a lovely cross. I'm going to give Granit Xhaka 8 out of 10. I thought he was good yesterday. I thought he was solid. I thought we won the midfield battle despite not really playing that great. But I thought Xhaka was good. And I always say any game Granit Xhaka doesn't get a yellow card is a good performance by me. He's kind of the glue in that midfield this season. He's not the glamorous one. Thomas Partey, we go mad. He's the general. He's the boss. Martin Odegaard is the silk. He's the magician. Granit's just kind of the glue that holds it all together, He's like the blue tack. When you used to be in school, man, you used to play with blue tack. He's like the blue tack of this midfield at the moment, which I would have called him something very different a couple of years ago. So, yeah, big up Granit. Another quality performance, solid performance. Got an assist as well. And, I love the celebrations as well. Clearly a very passionate player. And he does free up Zinchenko. He sits in. Zinchenko then goes forward. So big up to Granit. Keep up the quality form is the biggest compliment I can pay him. Let's talk about the front three. I'm going to start with Gabriel Martinelli because, again, for me, I don't think Gabriel Martinelli was at it yesterday. I thought Wan-Bissaka got in his head. And I've said many times with Martinelli, he has to play at different speeds. You can't always play in 5th, 6th gear and try and do everything at 100 miles an hour. Sometimes you got to slow down and think. Wan-Bissaka pocketed him. I got to be honest, he wasn't at it. I'm going to give him a 5.5. I'm going to be totally honest. I don't think he was at it. You look at his performance, he was ineffective, really. One thing I'll say in Gabriel Martinelli's defence, it helps, trust me, as a winger when you've got a fullback that overlaps you. Now, Zinchenko is playing almost as a false fullback, an inverted left back that drops into midfield. You see on the other side, Ben White is trying to overlap Saka. Tomiyasu was overlapping Saka. So it then creates 1v1 situations. Martinelli often has to take two players on. He's getting a 5.5 because I rate him so highly and I know that he's so much better than that. Xhaka does overlap sometimes, but not all the time. And I don't think he was great yesterday. It is what it is, people. It doesn't, nothing against him. He's a great player, great potential, but he has to learn to play at different speeds. And I thought he let Wan-Bissaka off the hook yesterday. I thought he should have just been aggressive and gone at him a little bit more and see what happens. Where I thought Wan-Bissaka got in his head a little bit. People saying Martinelli missing Jesus, maybe. Maybe that guidance and that friend and that connection there, maybe that helps him. Trossard's here. He said, Martinelli, please lift your head up. Listen, it's nothing to panic about. He's a quality player, and now we have competition for places. 5.5, Wasim said, that's generous. I'm trying to be nice, man. Owen says 4 for Martinelli. Gave the ball away. I would drop Martinelli for Trossard at Everton. Looking tired, said South London's fine. Let's talk about Bukayo Saka. Thoughts and prayers go out to Luke Shaw. He can't be in a good frame of mind this morning because what I saw yesterday on the football pitch, Bukayo Saka could have got arrested leaving the Emirates. That was GBH. That was GBH with an offensive weapon. What I saw on the pitch yesterday. The offensive weapon is the left foot. That was violence. That was footballing violence. You might see him on Crime Watch this week. Luke Shaw, England's #1 left back. I mean, Man United, I hope they stopped at a service station on the way home and got Luke Shaw a McDonald's because damn, he's going to need a break after what happened to him on the pitch. 10 out of 10. And let me tell you this. That is possibly the best performance I've ever seen from Bukayo Saka, in my opinion. If anyone can think of an individual game where you think he's played better, he has had some great performances, and there's definitely ones that you could put with it. Tottenham at home when he roasted them on the counter-attack. I think Saka yesterday was on another planet. I said the other day on the stream, actually, that I didn't think that Saka was yet world-class. I mean, I may have to retreat some of those words because that yesterday was like Robin reborn yesterday. That was ridiculous. And I'm like, the goal. I mean, anyone who was watching the watch along yesterday, I lost all control when that goal went in. And then to top it, you do the Rashford celebration in front of the same stand of fans where Rashford just done the celebration. I'm sorry, but this guy is, and I said it yesterday, people, we have got here in the modern day market, we have got a player that is worth £120 million plus, right? If Mudryk and Antony and Grealish and Lukaku are going for £100 million, how much is Bukayo Saka worth in the modern game, people? England's right winger, a star boy, one of the best right wingers in the Premier League. You would probably say him, Mahrez, Saka, Salah, and Mahrez maybe. 7 goals, 7 assists. And we're at the halfway mark. 21 years of age. 10 out of 10. 150 million minimum. And look, we don't want to sell him anyway. All I can say is Arsenal, get that new contract sorted out quick. Because your Pep Guardiolas and your Bayern Munichs and your Real Madrids and your Barcelonas, they're going to be going, what? This kid's got a year left on his contract in the summer. Get the contract signed ASAP, Rocky, people. Unbelievable. For me, it's up there as his best performance I've ever seen. 10 out of 10. The kid is special. He is special. And he needs to sign that new... If he wants 200k, give him 200k. Simple as that. If he wants 5 million signing on fee, give him the money. If he needs a new Lambo, give him the Lambo. He is special. I'm telling you. Yeah, I want to see an 8-year contract, Chelsea settings. Keep him at the club. He should be winning Young Player of the Year in the Premier League this season. There's just no doubt about it. Foden, that debate needs to stop. I love Foden. He is generational. But the consistency of Saka is different. Let me talk about Eddie. And Eddie's on my green screen today. Some of you might not be able to tell if you've just tuned in and we're on the smaller screen. He is on the green screen, people. Shamelessly. He deserves his apology. We're not hiding. I'm going to give Eddie man of the match. And the funny thing about this is I don't actually think that Eddie was the best player yesterday. I think Saka and Zinchenko, for the overall 90 minutes, played at a higher level. But I was a striker, and goals win games. If Eddie doesn't score yesterday, we draw or lose that game. It doesn't matter how good the performances were of Zinchenko and Saka. This guy scored 2 goals yesterday against Manchester United in a game where United's defence was pretty solid at times. You know, we had 25 shots yesterday. The first goal changes the game. If we go in 1-0 down at half-time after that performance, I think we're panicking. I think our back's against the wall. Him getting that equaliser just before half-time made a massive difference going in at 1-1. It gave us that level playing field and that opportunity that, listen, we can build from here and still beat them. We're 1-1, despite the fact we haven't played that well. That goal changes the game, and then he gets that late winner. Listen, I will hold my hands up and eat humble pie, which I have done with the green screen and the intro. He is proving everyone wrong at the moment. And you know what? I say it all the time. I'm more than happy to eat humble pie. More than happy to be proven wrong. I didn't think he was as good as he is. I'm going to be totally honest. He is a better player than I thought he was. No doubt about that. I just used to say fox in the box, poacher, scores tap-ins, not much about him, struggled at Leeds. Do you know what? He's a far better player than that. He's got good movement. His hold-up play's improved. He's a lot stronger. He can run the channels. He can go past players. He's improving massively. And do you know what? The biggest compliment I can pay this guy, he never, ever hides. If he misses a big chance, he turns up for the next one. He's always believed in himself. He rejected playing for Ghana at the World Cup because he believes he's going to get in the England squad. At the time, I thought the guy was insane. I said, you should have gone to the World Cup and played for Ghana. Do you know what? Gareth Southgate was at the game yesterday. I think Eddie will be in the England squad very soon. Because you look around and you look at English strikers, Kane, head and shoulders above everyone else. Watkins isn't doing anything. Calvert-Lewin, Danny Ings. What other English striker is really doing anything? Maybe Callum Wilson. So I think Eddie's actually going to be in the England squad soon. So I give that lad the biggest pat on the back. And you know what, Eddie? I was wrong about you. You are a far better player than I gave you credit for. So big him up. Keep scoring the goals. Oh, Ivan Toney's the other English striker, but he could be heading for a ban. So, you know, does Jesus even get back in the team when he's fit? That's, you know, who would have thought we'd be asking that question, which is unbelievable. So big him up, man. Big him up. By the way, Eddie gets 10 out of 10. You know, I questioned last week. I said, listen, he's scoring goals, but he needs to do it against the big teams. Didn't score against Tottenham. You scored the equaliser and the winner against Man United. I mean, 10 out of 10, man of the match for me. Goals win games, and he turned up when we needed him. There is an element of Ian Wright about him. I can't lie. There is people saying Ian Wright. He's got that. He sniffs a goal out, man. He really does. Sheets of Metal said, Eddie, 10 for the 2 goals, 100%. Big up Sheets of Metal. Michael K said, hot take, if Jesus plays, we won't win. Do you know what? I don't really think... I don't think Jesus makes us worse. So I don't really want to say if Jesus plays that we don't win the game. I don't think that's necessarily true. I just think he's scoring more goals. I think Jesus still has a better all-round game. I'm going to be totally honest. But I think Eddie is more of a goal scorer. I think Jesus is more of a link-up striker, maybe more of a false 9 than an out-and-out goal scorer, you know? So Jesus don't get in the penalty area as much. That's true, 100% true. 10 for Eddie, should have got a hat-trick. Jesus was balling out. He's not as prolific, but we're better with Jesus. I mean, Martinelli seemed to play better with Jesus, so maybe the link-up maybe benefits the wingers more. But I think if Jesus was fit this weekend, I think he'd be on the bench. I think now Jesus has to earn his way back into the team. And let me tell you something as an Arsenal fan, it's not a negative that we're going to have a debate about does Jesus get back in or does Eddie stay. That's a massive positive for us. Alfred, big up for the super chat, bro. Best thing about the Jesus situation is that he doesn't even have to come in at striker. He too can play anywhere in the front line. And also, how many times have we seen a player come back from injury at Arsenal and we force them back when they're not even fully fit, and then, you know, they break down, they get another injury or something goes wrong. So, yeah, for me, you don't have to rush him. You know, hopefully he gets back sooner rather than later, but we don't have to force him back and risk him getting injured. So I think that's a massive positive for Arsenal, man. So anyway, let's give a couple of special mentions to some of the substitutes, people. I'm going to start with man like Trossard, who came on for 8 minutes plus 5 minutes added on. So he got himself 13 minutes. The little dribble at the end, and I know it's not much, but the pre-assist as well, or the pre-assist for the goal, and the footwork and that little bit of excitement, it gave us something different. I'm giving Bossard 8 out of 10, people. We're calling him Bossard. I'm giving Bossard 8 out of 10. I don't care. He made an impact. And listen, it only takes a minute to change a game or to add a different dimension to a game. He made an impact. He was on the pitch for just 13 minutes altogether with time added on. But he drew Wan-Bissaka out, laid it off to Zinchenko, ball whipped in, goal, he tucked inside. Now, if Martinelli's hugging the touchline, Zinchenko can't go on the overlap there. So those little things count, people. I'm giving Bossard 8 out of 10, people. I don't care. I'm excited. I think he should start against Manchester City next Friday. Not because he's better or anything wrong with Martinelli. I would give Martinelli a little bit of a break and start him. The close ball control, the intelligence. I'm excited to see this guy play, man. Trossardinho, Leandro Trossard, and as we're calling him, Bossard. 8 out of 10 for him. Very solid performance off the bench. I'm going to talk about Tomiyasu as well. This was a needed substitution, by the way, because, yeah, Ben White got cooked yesterday, and I ain't talking about the sunbed. But he came on and was better. He was better than Ben White, in my opinion. He got done a couple times by Rashford, and some people criticising him on the goal. Should he have won the header in front of Ramsdale? I'm not so sure whether it was a little bit too high for him. But he was better. I'm going to give him a 7, not an 8. I still thought he struggled a little bit at times against Rashford. That time where, you know, he cut him in one side, then chopped back the other, and then the shot which was saved by Ramsdale, he got done inside out there. But I'm still going to give Tomiyasu a 7. I thought he was an improvement on the way Ben White was playing. Martin Odegaard came off for holding. There was only 2 minutes to go of time added on. You know what time it is when holding comes on at the end, so he just gets a standard 6. Battle Gnome said the Arsenal comeback started with Holding's hair. I'm telling you, Holding's hair grew back, Gabriel's hair grew back, and everything got better, man. Big up yourself with the super chat. DJ Gatti, big up Curtis. I love you, man. I'm watching from Poland. Warsaw, good content. Big up yourself, bro. Appreciate the support. And let's finish off with one final player ratings, of course. Well, not a player, but the gaffer, the boss, my manager. Yeah, we are shameless with it. We forget about the 245 million Arteta out shows. We've come a long way since then, people. Mikel Arteta picked the right team, of course. I'm going to give him 10 out of 10 again. I'm going to give him a 10. We beat Man United 3-2 at home. They're one of the most informed teams in the league. We weren't playing well in the first half. We were down 1-0. They don't give up, that spirit, that attitude. And then he does an interview with a bit of slang at the end of it as well. Yeah, I'm done. 10 out of 10. The guy took Ben White off at half-time. I'm telling you now, he would not have done that last season. He would have left him on the pitch for another 20 minutes and potentially got sent off. He's learning. He's becoming that manager that we need him to become. And I'm giving Mikel Arteta 10 out of 10. You got the better of 10 hog. Mikel gets a 10 hog out of 10, people. 10 for Mikel Arteta, people. It's another massive tick in the box. The only team that had beaten us this season. And as I said, for any Man United fans tuned in, and I know I'm slandering them, it's rivalry. The rivalry is back. Fitz said 9.5, should have brought Trossard on earlier. That's a good point. I would have brought him on earlier, but I'm still giving him the 10. Man United are a very good team. That's the best team we've played against at the Emirates this season. That was not an easy victory by beating them. And that's the biggest compliment I can give United, but also the biggest compliment I can give to Arsenal. There we go. Player ratings wrapped up, done and dusted. Let's look ahead now, people. I may squeeze in the press conference at the end, but I want to concentrate now on potential transfers, because for me, we had a much better bench yesterday. You know, the dirty bench is getting cleaned up now. We had options. Smith Rowe didn't even come on yesterday, which was interesting. But now, I want to look ahead and I want to see who Arsenal are potentially going to bring in. Because for me, I think we still need to get another midfielder through the door before this transfer window closes. We know that we will be in link with Camavinga. Well, today, Arsenal are being linked with Juventus central midfielder Weston Mckennie. I actually spoke about him last week when we heard that Juventus were getting a 15-point deduction. And that we would potentially, it's somebody that I think we could look at. I was thinking more maybe on a loan and then maybe go big in the summer for somebody else. But I do think this would be a good signing for Arsenal if we could get him in. Southern Guna said all day USA, why not? The story coming out of Italy, it's coming out of Gazzetta over there in Italy, is Arsenal are on the trail of Weston Mckennie and have made contact with the players' agents. Juventus are willing to negotiate for a reasonable offer between 20 to 25 million euros plus bonuses, with the Premier League the most probable destination. Now, I want to know your thoughts. Let's get a poll up. It's interesting because some people saying they don't rate him at all, so and some people saying they would take him. So let's get the first poll up of the day, people. More polls than the strip club. Would you take Weston Mckennie for 25 million euros, which is about 20 million pounds? So 20 million pounds for Weston Mckennie. Would that be a deal that interests you? He played really well for America in the World Cup. Had a very good game against England. He's 24 years of age, American international. Plays for Juventus, of course. He was being linked with a move to Burnley, unbelievably, in the summer due to their American owners. Aston Villa have been linked with him. But Arsenal now apparently in the hunt for Weston Mckennie. Would you sign Weston Mckennie for £20 million? I think it'd be a good signing. I think he's better than the midfielders that we've got. But I want to see your comments. Let me know in the comments. Would you take him? Curtis, it's a Kroenke signing, says Don. What are you saying? He wants to sell shirts in America. John says no. Roy Kent said get it done. Rory said, isn't he injury prone? What's he done this season? 15 games in the league. Last season, 21 games. So he missed quite a few. Season before, 34 games. And at Schalke the year before, he played 28 and then 24. So seems to play most of the games. Raul said, I like him. I liked him in the World Cup. Highly energetic, box to box. El Marlo said, I'd rather go for Amrabat. Malin said, better, but not good enough, in my opinion. Wasim said, get Tina Turner on the phone to bring him in. Ad says, better than Sambi. Bring him in. Mckennie is a baller, says Gavin. Watched him at the World Cup, just doesn't have the right system or support at Juventus. Sarvesh said he's injury prone. Michael said get him now. Rice in the summer, and that's the midfield sorted in terms of depth. Phil said at the World Cup he was great, but he ain't it, people. So, well, there's a poll up there. Let me know on the poll. Would you take Weston Mckennie? 20 to 25 million euros, which is about 20 million pounds. So definitely not going to break the bank if Arsenal were to go for him. I'm just looking now. Me personally, I would like to get him on loan rather than having to commit to him. He earns £50,000 a week, which that's light work for Arsenal. That's absolute light work. So it's something we can get done. Listen, for me, I think he's an upgrade on Sambi. I think he's an upgrade on El Neni. For Juventus, doesn't seem to thrive over there. I've got to be honest. His performances for Juve a little bit up and down. Looks a lot better when he plays for America. I would like to get him on loan. I would say, I would try, ideally for me, I would try and get him on loan. The problem that we've got is that apparently Juventus are looking to sell players. They've had 15 points taken off them. If they lose that, they're not going to be in the Champions League. They may not even make the Europa League. They're going to have big financial problems in the summer. So they're looking for cash. Loan with an option would be brilliant for Arsenal. But are they going to accept that? Are they going to want guarantees that they can get the money for the player by selling him on a permanent? That's the only problem. Try before you buy would be ideal, but are they going to allow it? Is he a DM? Not sure, said Fitz. People who watch him, is he a DM? Is he more of a 6 than an 8? I thought he was a DM, but I honestly don't watch him that much. Juve can still make the Champions League by winning the Europa League. That's a good point. Zach said, no chance for me on a permanent. Tuffy Boy said he gets a lot of red cards, can't keep up with the speed of play. Let me have a look at his record in terms of cards. I mean, he hasn't had a red card since he's been at Juventus. This is his 3rd season. Last season, he only got 1 yellow card. The year before, he got 5. I think it was more in the German league. He got 8 yellow cards, 6 yellow cards the season before. So no yellow cards in 2.5 seasons for Juventus in the league. So his discipline has obviously improved since he's been in Italy. So listen, for me, like I said, ideal situation for me would be to get him on loan. But if Arsenal spent 20 million on him, it's not the end of the world. And I do think he's better than Lokonga and El Neni. Pavel said he's an 8, although some people saying he is a DM. So some of you saying he's an 8, some saying he is a DM. He will suit us. His energy will improve us. I think he has got good energy. Polish Gunner said it's depending on if he's going to be backup or we're looking for a top DM. In my opinion, push for Rice in the summer. Get him on loan, maybe, if we need it. Rather get Zubimendi or Amrabat rather than McKennie. I mean, Zubimendi's already rejected us. Amrabat, Fiorentina were saying they wanted over £50 million for him. Jamie said he's defo not a 6. He's a quality squad player who can bring on when you need energy and work rate in the midfield. Don said Curtis add 10 million and get Milinkovic-Savic. I think Milinkovic-Savic will cost over 50 million. And I think the rumour is they don't want him to go in this window. He could go in the summer. He's a box-to-box 8, said Anthony. And Clement said Amrabat is better than McKennie. Camavinga isn't coming to Arsenal according to his agent. He's happy at Real Madrid, and Real Madrid will ask for 100 million. Plus, there's a Man United fan saying, take McTominay. Listen, I don't think anybody... I saw somebody say in the comments that McTominay was playing hide and seek on the Emirates pitch yesterday. Which is interesting. So, hey, we'll have to see on that one, people. But, yeah, very interesting. Weston Mckennie, would you take him at Arsenal, people, for 20 million? Let's end the poll. Like I said, for me, ideally would be on loan. 64% of you said you would take Weston Mckennie for £20 million. 36% say no, people. So the majority of you would take him. Let's get into a few of your super chats. EXE mobile phones and tech repairs. Oh my God, just tuned in. And Ketia green screen. I'm in tears. Tears of joy, my friend. Tears of joy. Eddie, you've worked hard for it, my friend. And you deserve it. You know, you deserve it. One thing with me, I can admit when I've got something wrong, you know, and I'm happy to be proved wrong, 100%. So big up Eddie, man. I'm sure you'll get the green screen again as well. AR said he's one of those players with more hype than substance. He'd be a waste. We've got centre mids. We need a DM. Look at his stats. They are not all that. Interesting. I mean, a more defensive-minded midfielder is never going to have great stats, is he? But listen, I don't watch him that much for Juventus. I can't lie. So some of you, I'm sure, watch him a lot more than me. 20 said, I'm American and I don't want him anywhere near Arsenal. He's physical, but he's not a 6 and severely lacks technical ability. He's better than Sambi, though. So it sounds like he's a box-to-box, energetic midfielder, not necessarily a 6. He's somebody that goes and gets involved, plays between both penalty areas, very energetic. Technically, a lot of people saying he's not great. So we'll have to see. But big up for the super chat, 20. Big up Alfred with the super chat. His style is actually similar to Partey. He's skilled enough on the ball to start attacks and has a lot of energy and scores the odd goal. Big up to Alfred. Christopher says Frank Kessie is better than Weston. Listen, you know my opinion, people. I would go and get Frank Kessie on loan until the summer. And then if you want Declan Rice in the summer, go and sign Declan Rice. That would be my way of thinking. He's being linked with clubs as well, Frank Kessie, which is frustrating because I feel we should be in the race. But at the moment, we're not in the race for him. So we'll have to see if we join in on that one. But the one positive of McKennie and Camavinga is that we are clearly looking for a midfielder. You know, we are looking for a midfielder, and I think we need one. I think we definitely need one before the season, before the transfer window closes. A couple more transfer stories before we round up. We've still got 10, 15 minutes probably before we round up. A couple of stories today. Arsenal were being linked with a summer move for Rafa Leao. A few stories today saying that Arsenal are going to go for him in the summer. Listen, if you watch this channel, you know I'm a big fan of Rafa Leao. I think he's a real live wire, somebody that I would look for. But Fabrizio Romano has confirmed it will take a huge bid to land Arsenal target Rafa Leao this month. He says Milan want to extend his contract, and the situation is very clear. He's expected to stay at Milan. Now, what I would be doing here, if I was Arsenal, right? Leao is clearly happy at AC Milan. There's no doubt about that. They won the league last year, and he's enjoying his time there. He's 23. He probably doesn't look at it as there is a real need for him to leave that club, considering how well he's doing. However, he has 18 months left on his contract. If I'm Arsenal, I'm saying to him, just wait until the summer. Do not sign a contract until the summer. He said in an interview during the World Cup that Arsenal are his favourite team to watch this season. The football we play excites him. He really likes the style of football. If you're an attacking player and you're looking at Arsenal, you would love to play for that Arsenal team, the way that they're playing football. 18 months left on his deal. If he gets to the summer and he's got 1 year left on his deal, with the financial issues that some of these clubs have got in Italy, there is no way that AC Milan can allow him to run down his contract and go into the final year. They will have to cash in on him in the summer and get some money for him. He earns around £90,000 a week at the moment. You know, Arsenal got players on 200k. You could definitely get him. I think you could get him out of Milan for 70, 80 million with a year left on his deal. Similar money for Declan Rice. You know, imagine signing Leao, Declan Rice, maybe one or two others in the summer. Our team could be unbelievable. And these are not players that are not unattainable for Arsenal if we got Champions League football, which I'm almost certain will be in the Champions League next season. So I would be saying to him, listen, I know you're happy at Milan, but I would not rush to sign that contract. Clement said Declan Rice favours Arsenal over Chelsea. He feels he can develop under Arteta. Baba Tunde, thank you for the super chat, bro. Big up, Big C. Do we judge a player based on ability or the role he's being asked to play? A player that fits into a system or a player's potential? A lot of things affect a player, don't they? The style of football that they're playing in, the manager that they're playing under, the league. You know, players have come to the Premier League and struggled. It hasn't happened. They've gone elsewhere and flourished. And the flip side, there are players that are in other leagues that have not done well and they've come to the league and done well. It depends, you know. Arthur at Barcelona, they were raving about him. He went to Juventus, slower league. They said he was poor. Different players, different leagues. You know, totally different. I remember Diego Forlan at Manchester United. He was terrible. He went back to Spain and ripped that league apart. You know, different players. Leao twerking for Arsenal recently, but happy at Milan. We are linked with him as a summer signing. I would just be saying to Leao's agent, don't rush to sign that deal. Year left on your contract. The world will be your oyster. Polish Gunner, have you got a ticket for the Arteta train? I'm on the train. I've been on that train for a couple of weeks. But I can confirm I jumped over the barriers at the train station and I snuck on the train, people. So if that ticket inspector comes, I could be thrown off at any given moment. Inflation is real, and I did not pay for that ticket because I wasn't fully convinced whether Arteta would keep us there, but he is keeping us there. If I get pulled by the inspector, I will pay double for the ticket, people. Leroy Sané better than Leao. He's having a very good season. I don't think Sané wants to leave now, to be honest. Dre's on the roof. Man jumped on the roof at the last minute. Man said, no, I'm going to miss out. I got to jump on there. I'm hiding in the bathroom. I'm not paying. I'm telling you. Everyone had to get involved at the last minute, man. Eddie's the conductor of the train, people. Just let it go, Eddie, man. I've got you on the green screen. Frank Lampard has been sacked, people, by Everton, which, I'm going to be honest, I think Everton needed to sack him. The timing of it isn't great because our next Premier League game is away at Everton. They looked like they had absolutely nothing under Frank. A new manager now gives them that potential new manager bounce. First home game in the league will be against Arsenal. So Frank Lampard getting sacked is not actually great news, in my opinion. I would have rather played Frank Lampard's Everton, who look like they've got nothing. Scarlet Stag, thank you for the super chat. What are your thoughts on Thuram? Could you see a swap deal with Pepe plus a small fee? I think Thuram could be good cover for Partey. Which Thuram is this? Does he play in the French league, is it? What's his name? Keferim Thuram. I think I've heard of him. I honestly haven't seen much of him. Who does he play for? How do you spell his name? Keferim Thuram. Let me have a look. Thuram. French footballer. What team does he play for? I've only really... Oh, he plays for Nice. Oh, okay, so... Well, the problem is, are they going to want to sign Pepe in the summer, first of all? If you're trying to do a swap deal, is Pepe doing well enough for Nice to want to sign him? I mean, looking at Pepe's stats this season, it's not all about stats, of course, but he's got 6 goals in 16 games. It's not bad. We'll have to see. I suppose it all depends whether they sign. Is it Lilian Thuram's son as well? That's crazy. Lilian Thuram, man, he's producing some ballers, man, I'm telling you. I asked the person sitting next to me if he's travelling without a ticket. He responded, no, I don't need to. I'm the conductor. The train is running, people. The train is running. A couple more stories before we wrap up, people. Let's talk about somebody who should be an Arsenal player by the end of today. That is Jakub Kiwior, the Polish international centre-back. He was pictured at the game yesterday. And he was sitting there with his wife, who is the twerking champion of Germany, apparently. So no more twerking from Mudryk, you know what I mean? We've got the twerking champion here now, people. He was sitting in the stadium, which, listen, the deal's done. He's not going to be there in public viewing if the deal is not done. Fabrizio confirming Jakub Kiwior will sign his contract later today. He will be unveiled as an Arsenal player until June 2028. Deal set to be announced. Medical tests have been successfully completed. He was yawning on camera, probably looking at Man United play football. But this deal should be announced today. I don't think you'll get some massive announcement from Arsenal. No disrespect. It's not a huge signing. But listen, let's hope he's a good player. He provides competition for Gabriel. It's an opportunity to rotate in the Europa League because Gabriel always seems to have to play, which is, you know, you need to be able to rest these people and these players when we get into big games. So, yeah, Kiwior should be an Arsenal player. Should be announced today. I would expect maybe 5, 6 o'clock Arsenal will announce that. And Jakub Kiwior signs a 4.5-year contract, it is, till June 2028. So, brilliant contract for him. Let's hope he's a good player. Let's hope he's more Gabriel than Pablo Mari, you know, as far as left-footed centre-backs go, and joins the club. So, yeah, man, looking forward to seeing him. And, he should be available against Manchester City. It'll be interesting if he makes his debut in that game. It's probably not the best of games to make your debut in, if I'm being totally honest, So probably put him on the bench, get him in training with the team, and let's see what he's about, man. But yeah, Kiwior should be announced today. 4.5-year contract, 20 million euros. And yeah, let's see how good a player he is, to be honest. I'm just looking for this story about this Fresneda, is it? We're expecting a decision on that today. I just want to find the story on that. So David Ornstein has put up a tweet about this guy, Fresneda. Let me just read this super chat. Flip Mode, big up to you, bro. Appreciate the super chat. Just want to big you up for all your good work, Big C, and also for building such a sick community. Bro, your content is the best in the Arsenal community, so just want to show some love. Appreciate that, bro. Thank you very much. The community are the stars of the channel, man. Big up to each and every one of you who tunes in and supports every day. And like I said, don't forget, I'll be on AFTV live at 5 o'clock with Laurie. And Kevin Campbell will be on with me tomorrow, people. Not sure whether it's going to be 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock yet. But I'll let you know on the community page. So here's the story regarding Ivan. Am I butchering this guy's name? Fresneda. David Ornstein announcing that Ivan Fresneda is set to make a decision today on who to join from Real Valladolid, having agreed terms with Borussia Dortmund and Arsenal. It's expected the 18-year-old will cost 15 million euros and return on loan for the rest of the season. Now, if you're looking at context for this, surely you would expect him to come to Arsenal over Dortmund. We're a bigger club. We'll pay bigger wages. We've got a Spanish manager, which probably makes it easier for him to settle. Best league in the world, or certainly the most exciting. You would think he comes to Arsenal. The only thing that might get him to Dortmund over Arsenal is Dortmund seem to sign young players and put them straight in the first team. And if you're a young right back coming to Arsenal, you're going to go, well, Ben White cost 50 million, having a great season. Tomiyasu was their first team right back last season. How do I get anywhere near that team? I don't know who plays at right back for Dortmund, or if they've got 1, 2, or 3 right backs. That, for me, would be the only thing that would make him choose Dortmund over us, if Dortmund are saying, listen, you're coming in and you're playing football, and we're in the Champions League. So I would expect him to come to Arsenal. People saying that Dortmund have got 5 or 6 right backs. So I would be surprised if he went to Dortmund ahead of Arsenal. But Dortmund are a very good club to go to then get that move to the next club. We've seen it with Sancho. We've seen it with, Bellingham, Dembele, Haaland. They bring in a young player, they thrive, and then they get sold for big money to a giant. So that's the only reason that I would expect him to go to Dortmund ahead of Arsenal. But every other reason he would come to Arsenal. We'll pay bigger wages, the Prem, everything. So we'll see with this one. Interesting that they're now saying that he will stay there until the end of the season, which I was saying the other day. What's the point, really, of him coming to Arsenal for the rest of the season and being third choice right back? So, I think that would be the right move. Sign him, stay in La Liga for the rest of the season, and then bring him in the summer. Let's see if he's willing to have that fight and that competition for a place with a couple of other right backs. But listen, for me, get that midfielder. Get that midfielder in to complete this transfer window and make it a really, really good window. I'm not actually going to do let me just have a quick look how long Mikel Arteta's press conference reaction is, because I don't want to drag it out for too long. 3.5K in the chat. Amazing support. Don't forget to subscribe. I want to hit that 60K before the end of the month, people. It's the capacity of the Arsenal stadium. So I want to hit that before the end of January, if possible. I'm going to leave it. It's quite a long one. I might go over it tomorrow. And because he's not really saying much, to be honest, but we definitely need that midfielder. Just one thing before I do round up, and something I want to talk about. There are rumours today that Gabriel Jesus could be around 4 weeks away from making a return to the Arsenal first team. He is now kicking a ball in training, which is a massive, massive boost. It was interesting yesterday when he was standing on the side of the pitch. He picked up Bukayo Saka and held him up off the floor. And I thought, well, your knee must be getting a lot stronger if you're able to do that. Because when you've had a bad knee injury, that is something that you can't do. So Gabriel Jesus, he is now kicking a ball. He's jogging on the treadmill as well, which means he obviously is able to put a lot more weight on that knee now. And reports online saying Gabriel Jesus could be back in 4 weeks' time. Now, that doesn't mean back in training in 4 weeks' time. They're referring to, back available for selection in 4 weeks' time. You may see him in training in 2 weeks' time. But it was such a bad injury, it's going to take him a while to be, to get himself back to full match fitness and to reintegrate him into the squad. But I think it's a lot better now because we don't have to get him straight in the team. Eddie's doing well. We don't have to force him. We can get him on the bench. A month from now, when you think about it, the only disappointing thing with the month would be that would mean he misses Manchester City at home, which I'm sure he would have been desperate to play in that game, considering, being an ex-Manchester City player. But again, in the words of Wenger, it would literally be like a new signing, having him back, which, listen, can you imagine having him and Trossard and Martinelli and, all these players? It's going to be a massive, massive boost. So they're saying 4 weeks. Apparently he told, is it Khabib who was at the game yesterday? 4 weeks. And a few people who were there yesterday who saw him have said that 4 weeks is what's being said, and online a few people are quoting 4 weeks as well. So 4 weeks, and I can't wait for him to come back. Listen, credit Eddie, he's been fantastic, but Gabriel Jesus is an infectious character and somebody that I can't wait for us to have back. Before we finish, I am quickly going to get through the waffle. Let's just get through it quick. Let's do the show properly. If you're going to do it properly. We've been on for over an hour, but I'm just going to skip through it. Mikel Arteta on the win. Eddie, the atmosphere, and the title race. Arteta got a yellow card yesterday for complaining. It was hardly anything. I've seen referees get that done to them by managers all the time and then don't book them. But, it's Arsenal. They don't like us. Do we need to be liked? No, we don't. We'll look after ourselves. Let them hate on us, man. On the atmosphere at full time, he said, I don't know if I've ever heard an atmosphere like that. It doesn't get much better than that. It was a beautiful moment, a special one, because we were pushing and pushing. The goal wasn't coming in the end, and then VAR made it even more difficult, but it was electric, really emotional, really passionate, and I loved it. Do you know what's crazy? There was 4 or 5 people in the chat yesterday saying that they were crying at the end of that game. And honestly, I'm not clowning anyone. That was an emotional victory for Arsenal yesterday. It really was. They had to overcome a lot of hurdles to win that game yesterday. I'm telling you, emotionally, that would have took a lot out of that team yesterday. And I'm glad they've got, a few days off to recover from that, because that would have took a lot out of them. But you find when you win the game, you recover a lot quicker, man. So, yeah, big up, man. Zinni's celebration, was epic. Absolutely epic. I think he was crying as well. He had tears in his eyes. On how big the win could be for our title challenge, he said, especially after coming back, winning the London derby away from home, the way we played today, we played completely different and very different demands and way of playing. Let me skip through it. On if the win could help our players believe they can become champions, he said, I hope it does. Not that they are champions, but they are good enough to play against these teams and perform how we've done. At the same time, don't get confused. And we talked about in the last 2 or 3 days that we know our reality. We still know how much we have to improve, and we know what has taken us to get to this position we are in today. On Eddie Nketiah's form, he said, what Eddie is doing... Yeah, I saw that fan breakdown in tears, man, on AFTV. Big him up, man. It sounds like he's had a tough time. What Eddie is doing is incredible. We cannot say that we saw that. We were hoping that he could do that because of the way that he is, because of his mentality. Losing Gabby was a big blow. It is a big blow, but Eddie is responding, and the team is and the team, I think, in an exceptional way. He totally spot on with that one. He's, like we said, the biggest compliment we can give him is that we haven't actually missed Jesus that much, and Jesus might actually have a fight to get back in the team. On how he keeps young players grounded, reminding them every single day. We always talk about how we're going to do tomorrow, what we're going to control today, that is in our hands, because this league is so competitive. On Nketiah's qualities, he said the qualities he has, how much he wants it, the belief he's got to become Arsenal's 9, his desire, his background. We're with him every single day. He's a special kid. On Nketiah scoring the winner after having a shot saved, the time he's going to try again, and he's going to miss the chances, but he's going to miss more this season. But I guarantee you for the next one, he's going to try and do it again. He's not going to hide. On Jacob Kiwior, he said, we can talk about that when everything's finalised. On what a big win does for our team, he says, it gives us belief and confidence. I love this one. Yamming waffles, sipping syrup, taking out United stands views with this Cone Man music. Big up Turkish in the chat. Yo, hold that, man. Yo, all that. In Jamaica, we say all that. All that, you. Saeed's going to have to all that. Boy, warm up the barbecue, man. Get the seasoning ready, man. If I don't see smoke coming off Saeed tonight, make sure you tune in. Big 6. What time is it tonight, bro? Let the people them know. I know it's tonight. I wasn't aware of what time. Turkish from deep, man. You know what I mean? Wallat, you. Big 6 tonight. I'll be in the chat, man. I'm expecting a barbecue. It's got to be like an all-you-can-eat restaurant tonight, man. I'm telling you. Saeed, season him up and cook him, man. He can't get away with it. The big win gives us belief. People saying, is it 10:30? Oh, Tottenham are playing, innit? Yeah, Tottenham are playing, so I suppose. Yeah, they'll be going. Yeah, 10:30 after the Spurs game. Make sure you tune in. Listen, I'm letting you know, people. This 3.5K here, I'm expecting record numbers in Big 6 tonight. I need to see 12, 13K in the chat. And make sure Saeed's getting it from all angles, man. I'm telling you. Charcoal him tonight. I'm telling you. Send him home burnt. You know what I mean? Let me just skip through this last bit of waffle from Mikel. It gives us belief and confidence to move in the right direction. Summing up the first half, he said, extraordinary first half of the season. It doesn't get much better than that. 50 points, people. If we can repeat that, it's 100 points. On Bakayo's performance, he said, I wouldn't like to talk individually, but what I would like to say is the courage and personality the players showed. As I said, for me, that is potentially the best performance I've ever seen from Bukayo Saka. I'm telling you. I've seen good performances, Tottenham at home, but what he did to Luke Shaw, and I know we're always bantering Luke Shaw, but this is a guy that got into the best team of the Euros, and he ain't no joke. We joke about him, but he is a good left back, and he made him look stupid. On if we are favourites for the title, he said, I don't have an opinion. It can be a perception. I know my team so well. I like the way he takes the pressure off them. On whether this season's Premier League winner will need to hit 100 points, he said, I don't know. Obviously, that number's been achieved in the past. On the character of the squad today, particularly what I've seen, yes. Tomorrow, I don't know. Let's leave it there, people. Short and sweet. One thing I want to talk about before we get out of here. Big up Turkish, my bro. Looking forward to the show later. It's good times, man. It's good times. What I would say is, people, we've suffered as a fan base for a long time. Some people say, oh, you're spoiled. Try supporting this club. Listen, we came from great heights, Invincibles, George Graham, Wenger, all of that. We're not used to what's gone off over the last 10 years. Enjoy the highs, people. Enjoy the highs, because they don't last forever. And we need to make the most of what's going off at this football club right now. Sheets of Metal said, people, warn Saeed he's going to get clipped. I'm sure School Fugger is going to have the clips. He's gonna destroy him with the intro. That is for sure. And he deserves it. But listen, one thing I will say. This is what I want to finish off with. I saw a comment that Cesc Fabregas made yesterday. It was great seeing Cesc Fabregas yesterday on Sky. And he did an interview. I don't know if it was on Sky he said this, or whether he said this off camera. He said when he went to the Arsenal training ground, it's all changed. It's all been upgraded and been changed. And do you know that Mikel Arteta has put a Premier League trophy cabinet in the entrance of the Arsenal training ground, and there's no trophy in there? And he's done that because he said to these players, if you want to achieve something special, don't worry about what happened before. You need to put your Premier League trophy into that trophy cabinet. And that, for me, I've had a lot of questions about Mikel Arteta over the last few years. But let me tell you something. The little things what I'm hearing about him and what he's doing and what he's saying. Apparently he said it on camera on Sky. I didn't actually hear him say it. But that, for me, is like, do you know what, bro? You understand what this football club is. You know what is necessary at this football club. And things like that, they would trigger something in your mind. Yo, Invincible's great, but I need to create my own history as a player. And they need to put their Premier League title into that trophy cabinet. So big up Arteta, big up Eddie and Kiwior, you got the green screen. It was well deserved. You know, your defense is in trouble when Nketiah's in the room. You know how it goes, people. Listen, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your week. Make sure you go and support Turkish and the guys on the Big Six, 10:30 tonight. Let's cook Saeed. Thank you very much for tuning in. 121k views on yesterday's watch along. Unbelievable numbers. Appreciate all the support. Like this video, subscribe. Make sure you join me tomorrow. I'll be live with Kevin Campbell. Lots to talk about. At the moment, we're going to be live at 4 o'clock, but it could be 2 o'clock. I'm not sure yet, but I will confirm. At the moment, it's going to be 4 o'clock. I'll be live on AFTV tonight at 5 o'clock as well, so make sure you join me and Laurie for that, people. Enjoy the rest of your day. A big up to Eddie, big up to Arsenal, big up to Arteta. Can we win this Premier League title, people? We're getting closer, but still a long way to go. Take care, everyone. Bless.